what's up, North County? I'm your host, Randy Doty, and we are talking with Bob Busick today that is putting together a fundraiser for the fires down in L.A. Bob, thanks for coming in.
You're welcome.
So first off, Bob, tell me about, so you guys are putting together a package donations for the fire victims down in L.A.
Right.
Right. What made you decide to do something like this?
Several years ago, they had the Paradise Fire up north, and we did the same thing for there. We got a U-Haul trailer, filled it up, and took it with all sorts of items up there. We want to do something. We can't do a lot for them down there, but a lot of people have that same feeling. They want to do something and feel like they were helping somebody. And so with the devastation, and it's just unbelievable down there, you've seen it on the news and what. So I've come up with the idea again to do this. So I contacted Mike at Mike's Upholstery in U-Haul and said, I need a U-Haul trailer, a 6x12 enclosed like we did last time, and I need it for 10 days. And what would be my price? And so he says, let me make a couple of calls. So he called corporate, called me back, and he says, okay, you can have it for 10 days for $1. And we
nice.
were blown away. So we pick it up today, and what we're going to do is take it to Target on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday of this week from 2 o'clock to 6 o'clock. KSBY will be there tomorrow. They're going to interview us there, and we'll have the trailer, and we're asking for people that if they'd please help and to help fill the trailer. And it can be a variety of items. The only thing we're not accepting is used clothing, but it can be new clothing, shovels, rakes, anything from diapers through whatever you can think of that you would need if you were to experience this total loss of everything.
Wow, that's very awesome.
Yeah.
And I just want to also point out that you're also part of the Cowboy Church at the Running Bee Ranch in Atascadero, because you got your gear on there.
Yep.
So we'll be having Pastor Rick on and Jerri to come on after commercial break and tell us a little bit about the Cowboy Church. But I just wanted to kind of put that reference into what you're doing with the Cowboy Church that you guys are involved with,
right,
and started actually, right?
Yeah, 2.5 years ago. We started it on Bryan's and Lisa's Busick's ranch, the Running Bee. So this is kind of just what our hearts say we need to do, and we found a church that's in Altadena. Altadena was one of the major ones. Involved in the Eaton fire.
Okay.
43,000 population, just devastated. Probably 75-80% of the town is leveled.
Gosh.
And the problem with that is it's an old established community and town, and it goes back 3-4 generations. And what's happened is the grandparents have bought in the home, paid for it, and then as they passed away, it was inherited by family members. And then fire insurance became so high that so many of them canceled their insurance, and they just couldn't afford to pay it. So not only have they lost all their valuables and all of their keepsakes and all their memorabilia, they've lost financially. So it's just been devastating. But the church we found is the Refuge Christian Church, and they're right in Altadena. They were spared, but they are now the hub for distribution. So what our plan is Thursday, Friday, Saturday be at Target. If we're not successful in filling the trailer, then Monday and Tuesday of next week we will go to Walmart. And then Jerri and I will take the trailer down. We'll leave Thursday, arrive down there Thursday evening, unload Friday, and then Saturday we're going to get to work in the distribution center, because their church is the hub now for distributing to the people that have been involved. And then Sunday we'll attend their church and head home. So hopefully we'll have that trailer full with the people out there's help and their donations that they're able to bring. Our thought is Ross is right next to Target. If they want to go and buy stuff off the sale rack or whatever, they'll take new undergarments, anything, blankets, extension cords, heaters, floor heaters types, bedding, just whatever you can think of. It just flashlights. extension cords. I don't know if I said that. Non-perishable food items, dog food. A lot of times they forget about the animals if they have fold-down cages that they want because they have no yards to keep the dogs in now. 33-gallon trash bags, whatever you can think of in that way, we'll accept and load in there and take down. We've also, if you want to do gift cards, I went out to a board meeting at Oak Shores and had $800 donated by various members. So I took that cash, went to the bank, and got, I'm putting $25 in each envelope. So right now I have 24 envelopes, and I want to target the kids, so that they can feel like they can go do something. They can go to the store and buy something that they need or want.
So you're taking also like cash, like if somebody just wanted to give you money, do you guys have a Venmo set up for any of that kind of stuff?
I can do Venmo through my daughter-in-law. We don't have Venmo, but if they want to write a check, just Bob Busick, and then I'll cash that, and then we're going to take photos, pictures down there, and then we'll post what we've done while we're down there. Like our church money, we want to be good stewards of your money that you donate, and just be assured that it's going to go directly to them, 100% to them. There's no financial gain for us to do this. Our church is paying for the fuel to go down there, and it'll come out of that. I went down and bought 30 tubs. If you have stuff that you're going to donate, if you bring it in a tub, that really helps, because right now a lot of the people are living out of plastic bags, and a large 27-quart tote will give them a chance to put some of their stuff and protect it from the weather. So I bought 30 tubs, so I have those to fill up, and that's.
Bob, have you physically talked to the people down there and kind of got a little bit more in depth of what does life look like? I mean, if you lost 75% of the homes, and I mean, what are they doing? Where are they living? What's
family, friends that weren't affected? FEMA, the different organizations are giving them a limited amount of motel, but to try to find a place is really difficult. For the families to find a place to relocate to live. The schools have been decimated, the shops, the buildings, the people that were working there, they've lost their jobs, and besides their homes. We've talked to the pastor down there. I've talked to him 2 or 3 times. The only thing I can relate is when we went to Paradise, our youngest son, Robbie, was up there living at the time, and he had a catering truck called Truckaroni. Well, him and 2 of his friends took the Walmart parking center, and they were in charge of the fire victims coming down and living in tents and all of that there. And when we took the trailer up and started unloading, we were able to talk to those people. And so we kind of got an idea of and we did the gift cards, and we did stuff like going to the barber shop and giving the barber a couple $100 and say, anybody comes in and identifies from the Paradise, give them a free haircut. We went to the donut shop and did that kind of stuff and gave them money and said, if somebody comes in from Paradise, their items are paid for that they get. So, that we want to do the same thing down there. It's just hard. You can't even comprehend. I mean, and like their pastor said, it's just not this week or next week. This is a marathon in order to try to, they're running a marathon down there in order to try to get some kind of, where do they put all of the devastation, all of the stuff that's contaminated. Paradise brought it down into Chico, loaded it on railroad cars, and a lot of the stuff was shipped out of state, because they said they would take the contaminated stuff. So
because really nobody knows. I mean, this literally.
No. You imagine what's in your garage and stuff, and how much of that, and the heat of the fire melted the metal into just, running down, and that's all contaminated stuff. So the people are allowed, some of them in different areas are going back in and seeing what's left or what they can try to find, try to rake through the rubble to try to, I've salvaged something. Yeah.
What a feeling of just losing everything and not, I mean, when you say, everything, it's not just like one home. You're talking hundreds, of buildings, hundreds of structures.
Yeah.
The life and the place as you knew it is completely gone.
Yeah, and you can never build it back to what you had. At this point, there's been 11 deaths in just the Altadena fire. And they're doing the cadaver dogs, and they're going through and they're searching because there's a big number of missing people still. So,
gosh, I haven't heard like the official, but do you know if was this arson? Was this like started man, or was this? I haven't heard much of that.
Yeah, I've heard anywhere from people out in a bar, having a fire, the homeless having a fire, to electrical from the power lines to arson. I mean, they haven't really got down to officially saying this is what caused. And no matter how much prepared they were, 100-mile-an-hour winds blowing those ambers 3 football field lengths to another house or engulfing another house next door. There was just no way to, they could have had all the water they had, and with the wind, the helicopters couldn't fly at night. So they were so limited with the resources that they had available, but the wind was just a huge, major contributor to it. Gosh.
Bob, I know, I'm sure you guys are not the only one. I know that there's been many horse trailers and moving trucks and all that just from the Central Coast here alone heading down that direction. Do they tell you of anything that they're more in need of than other things? Like, hey, we're good on these, but we could still use these kind of items. Do they?
We haven't had that issued to us. I know Idlers filled up some trucks. They had a distribution point, so they filled up. We contacted Atascadero Feed and Grain to try to get some animal food, dog food, horse food, and they have been down there numerous times already and donated a lot of stuff down there. And so maybe the next time we go, if we're going to do it a second time, then they'll be able to contribute. But right now they've done their part. So it's just trying to do something and have somebody feel like, okay. In fact, one guy called me from Costco and he said, "What do you need?" And I said, "Well, whatever, whatever." And I gave him a kind of a list. And he says, "Well, I can't do much." He says, "I'm Section 8, but I want to be able to do something." And so stories like that. I mean, I had a guy call and says he's rehomed his dog because of his health. Would we take the dog down there? Well, I had just gone to Home Depot and spent almost $300 for the tubs. And on the way home from there, I get a phone call from him and said, "If you could take my dog and meet the people in Altadena, they're coming from Moreno Valley." And he says, "I'll give you $300. So,
wow.
I mean, just story after story, like
things
the
just kind of
U-Haul
get put in
deal for
place.
$1. I mean, we've been blessed, but we want to be able to bless as much as we can. And we can't take all that hurt away. We're just a 12-foot trailer full of stuff that but we can go down and show love. And that's
so 12-foot trailer between 3 days at Target.
Yes,
should get that filled.
We did the same thing at that time. Kmart was open in Atascadero. The first 2 days or day and a half that we sat down there, it just kind of drove. We didn't have much. KSBY came, and then they put it on their 5:30 and 11 o'clock news. The minute that was done, the next day the trailer was full. It reached that many people, and we're hoping the same thing is going to happen this time with you and with What's Up North County, that it's going to reach enough people that we stopped at coming back from the lake this weekend, and at a lady's ranch, her and her sister went into town and said, "I have a couple of things for you." Well, she didn't have a couple of things for us. When we got there, she had 12 large tubs full of stuff, from diapers to toilet paper to baby wipes to you name it.
Wow, that's awesome.
So we picked up the 12 totes and even got us a brand new rake and shovel, which is, these people, they don't have any tools. They don't have anything, it's just whatever they can afford to go by, and so many of them were living, because it's a moderate to low income area where we're going to be going. And so they have nothing. It's and we're hoping that we can just be part of. We started originally with the Dream Center, but they've been so inundated, and we wanted to go right to the hub. We wanted to go to where we could help, where we could assist, and that's why we found this church there. And pastors are great. Him and his wife run the church, and he drives a street sweeper during the day. For now, it's so busy down there that he's putting 15-hour days in, driving a street sweeper, trying to clean and get the area cleaned up.
So, Bob, once again, what kind of items again are you looking for? So tell me again about...
I kind of got a list. Anything from gift cards, bedding, diapers, first aid kits.
Now, when you say gift cards, probably like a Visa, MasterCard would probably...
Yeah.
Versus like,
There's Targets down
Cool
there.
Hand
There's
Lukes.
Walmarts down there. There's, those, if they want to do that, it kind of...
Something that's a broader card that could be utilized in multiple places,
Yeah,
not just
or if a Visa is probably, you got to pay a little bit for the Visa to get it, but at least they can use it multiple places, opposed to going with a Target or a Walmart where they have to go into one area, or cash, like what I'm doing. I'm putting the cash in the envelopes and handing that out. People are reluctant to do cash, but we can just guarantee them it's going to be taken. Yeah, it's easy. Right. It's done. Then they can buy what they need, not what we think they need. So that's a good way to go. Like I said earlier, extension cords, dog food, dry food, non-perishable food, new clothing, dishes, bath towels, just anything.
But used clothing.
But used clothing, yeah.
Okay. So anything that somebody can think that, if they were in that situation that they would need, I guess, it's hard to decide what you need. We went through
our closet. Some people have gone, and they have given us some used clothing, but it's like new clothing because some of the stuff still has the tags on it. They bought it, it's hanging in their closet, but they haven't worn it. So that kind of stuff we could take. It's the used clothing, because a lot of times what happens, it ends up being worn out clothing. And then they're separating, going through all this stuff. But undergarments have to be new because of health.
Sure.
Health reasons.
Nobody wants to put on.
Blankets, kind of bedding, that can all be used also, as long as that's in good shape. And anything used, but that's usable in good shape.
And Bob, once again, is there a location? Do you guys have a Facebook page? Do you guys have, how does somebody contact? Like, say if our viewers are watching, they want to reach out to you. How do they contact you? Where do they go to?
They can go. We have a couple of deals on everything Atascadero. That site that's there. We have Cowboy Church. They can go on there to the Facebook site. And
so there is a Cowboy Church Facebook page.
We're in the process, but they can go in there and pick that up. Our phone number, or my phone number, is 805-857-2476. They can call me directly, and I'll make arrangements to meet them for a pickup. Like I say, we'll be there Thursday, Friday, Saturday, 2 to 6 at Target. And then if the trailer's not full, then we'll go to Walmart on Monday and Tuesday, finalize everything, and we'll leave Thursday to head down there.
Very cool. Well, Bob, I appreciate you coming on, and I appreciate everything you're doing. Like I said, you've been a man in the community that's done, a lot, over the years and years that you guys have been in the community. So, I just want to say thank you for that. And,
you're welcome.
Like again, you're the angel among us. That's going down there and doing your work here on the ground.
That's the Christian way to do it.
Yeah.
It's what we've been challenged to do, and we step up and try to do it.
Well, you're doing it.
Awesome.
Thank
you.
Bob,
appreciate it, Randy.
Yep, and so we're going to have Jerri and Pastor Rick on, and so we're going to hear a little bit more, not a little bit more, a lot more of what this Cowboy Church is that so many people talk about that happens there in Atascadero.
Yep, they're both our pastors, and they just love them both.
Awesome. Cool. Well, we're going to take a break, and we will be right back to What's Up North County with the Cowboy Church. Hey, welcome back to What's Up North County, and we are here with Jerri and Rick with the Cowboy Church. We just got done hearing from Bob with the donation that they're going to be doing here for the next few days at Target Shopping Center with a U-Haul heading down to LA for the fire victims. So donate as you will. But Jerri, Rick, thanks for coming on. I appreciate it. So tell me about. Well, Jerri, tell me first, since you're in the hot chair. Right there. So you're the one that gets asked all the questions. So tell me a little bit about you. Tell me a little bit about what you guys have started there at the Running Bee Ranch.
First of all, Randy, I want to thank you for having us on. We appreciate you, and we've known you forever.
Of course, absolutely.
Yeah, and we appreciate that.
I'm happy that we can serve this for you.
So Bob and I started Cowboy Church about 2.5 years ago on September 11th. It was something the Lord spoke to my heart about it, and Bob and I have always worked with youth groups for like 40 years, like teenagers, basically better than adults, but that's okay. And it was fun, but it was time. And there's a season, Ecclesiastes talks us about the seasons, and the Lord spoke to my heart about asked me if I was ready for the next big thing, and I said, Lord, I'm not going to say how old I am, but I told the Lord how old I was, and he said it doesn't matter. And so our son Bryan was buying a ranch, and it was going to take a miracle, and he asked his mom if I wanted to go over and see it. And so I am a pastor, and I went over there, and we sat at this ranch, and I said, Bryan, I'll only pray God's will. And he says, okay, Mom. And he says, and there's a beautiful piece of grass, this beautiful piece of grass, horse stalls everywhere. And I'm looking at him, and he goes, Mom, I see Cowboy Church. And I said, Bryan, the Lord had just spoke to me in the morning about, are you ready for the next big thing? And so Bob and I started Cowboy Church there. I knew it was something we needed to do right away. And Bob and I did a couple of services. And but this guy over here, Pastor Rick, we sat under his ministry for 28 years or so, and our kids were raised under him. And I don't know, maybe Bryan was tired of hearing about Mom and Dad, and he said, let's call Pastor Rick. And Pastor Rick at that time was retired. And how many years did you? How many years were you at the Assembly?
29.
29, and then he retired 6 years. So I told Bryan, you call him.
So let me get this straight. So you started it as the pastor, the Cowboy Church,
Yes.
and then
Yes.
I got you. Okay.
Yeah.
So then we have Pastor Rick here.
Yes.
So Rick, tell me your story. Tell me how you got. Because I remember you from years ago on the church right there off of
right off Ardillo Road.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so tell me how you got started and why.
I was raised in a non-Christian home by an alcoholic single father, and I didn't have my conversion. I had dramatic Saul on the road to Damascus conversion right after high school. Ended up going to a Bible college where I met my wife. We served as a youth pastors at a Presbyterian church for 1.5 years, and then we came to Arroyo Grande in 77, and we were on staff there for 10 years, and came to Atascadero in 87 as the senior pastor of Atascadero First Assembly, and it was wonderful, wonderful season, and worked with some other great pastors in our community, Tom Farrell at ABC, Tom Gaddis at Father's House, and some others that really significant, fruitful ministry over the years in town. I have 2 grown sons. One's in Santa Barbara. He directs a Campus Crusade for Christ at UCSB. The other one worked for the government for a few years and does cybersecurity stuff. Amazing wife who's tolerated me for 49 years. It'll be 50 years next year. So anyway, I love ministry. I love people. And so I got this call. I'm also a police chaplain with the Atascadero for the last 12 years.
Oh. So, wow. Gosh, you have a lot of tools in the belt.
I do. Anyway, so I love people. I love doing ministry. I like to see people's lives transformed. I'm a glass half full kind of person. That's not the way I was raised necessarily. It's the way I'm wired, though. A glass half full kind of person, and I like to give hope. I kind of feel like I'm a merchant of hope. I don't sell it, I give it away, because you can live without a lot of things in this world, Randy, but you can't live without hope, right? People need that. You don't want them despairing. And I find my hope in Christ. So when I got the call from Bryan, I was excited. We only meet twice a month, so it's not like I'm back really giving leadership to a church,
like that,
right?
Yeah.
So and it's really a good place. The atmosphere is wonderful. The ranch is beautiful, and more often than not, we meet outdoors, and it's just beautiful. When it's extremely colder, of course, rainy, then we'll meet in the barn, which is interesting because the horses are sticking their heads out of the stall.
They're part of it.
Yeah, they are. So it's really a wonderful atmosphere there, and we have a great collection of people, a really broad demographic of people in terms of age and backgrounds, and it's a good fit for a lot of people. A lot of the people there are new to the whole thing. They don't have any real knowledge of the Bible, or maybe or how maybe a church is supposed to work. They've never really been a part of one. Then we have other people who have served Jesus for decades, right, and have lots of knowledge and practice at following Him. So it's kind of an interesting dynamic. A lot of love and support and encouragement and affirmation there.
Well, I think church has a stigma, has a stereotype, right?
Yeah.
And a cowboy church, if nobody's ever been to a cowboy church, that breaks that mold, because it's not suits and ties and that kind of stuff. I mean, it's Western. You're outside. It's you got your jammies on. You got whatever it may be. You're in lounge. It's just it's a relaxed form of the same thing.
Very much.
Just a different path, right?
Very much.
And it's such a welcoming experience. I've got to experience that at the Creston Classic Rodeo one morning when we were setting up. Mm-hmm. And it was just, I was like, this is kind of cool,
Yeah.
And, because I've been to, I'm not a churchgoer either, but I've been to, like I said, I've been to your church when you were over there on the hill,
right.
And it's just, and that's the mindset that I see, when you say church, but this is like completely different. This is like, again, being out in nature, however you come fit, you're ready to rock and roll, but yet it's just a more of a relaxed method, and everybody is like kind of like on the same page. It's just very relaxed, and it's a great feeling. So, and that's probably why people are building with that, because of the fact that it is a different. You guys have break the mold by having a cowboy church, and I want to say it's every other week, correct?
Right, the second and fourth Sundays of the month.
Wow.
Yeah.
Randy, when we got started, we've been in church a long time under this guy and working with the youth and all that, but we've seen it all with church, and it can be difficult. And so I came up with this model, basically said that Cowboy Church was for the unchurched, the overchurched. I don't want to go to church. Or one guy actually said to me, I don't want to darken the door of the church. And I said, good, because we don't have a door. You can come.
Right.
And it's
we
for
have
everyone.
green grass.
And and we have a wonderful worship team with Elizabeth and Will White.
Too.
Oh my goodness. I mean, they are so talented.
They are very much.
We have a wonderful prayer team. Melody Jordan, also an incredible worshiper. We're so blessed to have her. And My Heart is Prayer. I wanted to kind of say with what Bob had said, at Target, we want to encourage people to come for prayer too. Come and let us pray over you. And and everyone's suffering through something difficult. Life is not easy, but we feel like Jesus is the answer, and we are outdoors, and it is special, and we have a lot of fun. We have activities. We do fun things with our church people with cornhole, and Bob makes cowboy beans, and we do breakfast burritos at times. It's a wonderful atmosphere. We have Sunday school. Gabby Romo does our Sunday school, and she's fabulous. And we have a youth group that we're getting started. So, it's all God. We give all the glory to God for what He's done. And
That's awesome.
And the Lord is fun, and it is fun to serve Him.
So Jerri, how did you feel when Rick was contacted to come and start being the pastor for the church?
Totally relieved.
Yeah.
Yes, totally relieved. Like, we've been friends for 40 years. Yeah, brother, sister kind of. And we're just grateful. And yeah, Bob and I step up. We can do it. We know we give him time off. We didn't want to have any. I mean, when you serve in a church for those many years, it's not easy. And there's so many demands on the pastor. And so when we met and talked to him, we said, okay, this is what we expect. And yes, you can go on vacation. And yes, you're not going to have a board that's going to tell you what to do. We need you. We need you. And it was a God thing. And I'm so grateful. So grateful. It's been good. It's been good.
So tell me, how you guys met? Was it through his church that you started going to? Is that
They were in the church when I arrived as senior pastor.
Okay.
They were already members of the church of Atascadero Assembly.
Gotcha.
Yeah, we were trying him out. There was a couple that were.
Yeah.
Looks like you made the cut.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah,
he
fortunately,
made
yeah.
the cut. And we're after all those years. And our oldest son, Chad, he married Chad and Jennifer almost 29 years ago. Crazy. Our middle son, Bryan and Pastor Rick are tight. They're good friends. Help Bryan a lot, and it's awesome. And Robbie. I mean, it's wonderful, and he gives that to everyone that comes. It's just we want everybody to come. We have room. We have room for you. It's outdoors. There's 24 acres. We'll find a place to put you. You know, it's fun. It's really fun.
Well, Pastor Rick, you had mentioned that you're going to be celebrating your 50 years here coming soon,
Yeah.
and I can only imagine, your age, because you don't look like you're celebrating. I mean, you look in phenomenal shape.
Yes,
you
he
know,
is.
And tell me about that. I mean, that's those are some of the things that we also take for granted in life is our health.
Right.
I mean, again, you have so many different tools in your belt. You have so many different paths of stretch of what you're doing.
Right.
How do you stay
Well,
in such great
I'm really
shape?
grateful for my health. My family does not have a history of any really. I mean, there's no history of diabetes. There's no history of high blood pressure. There's no history of heart attacks. So, sometimes just good genetics, right? Fortunate,
Good bloodline.
right? So I'm fortunate in that. But I've always tried to maintain my health. I ran track in high school. I played football in junior college. I played soccer and baseball in college, and then I played rec sports for years. And then when that began to ebb away in my 40s and 50s, I always was in the gym. And then since I wasn't doing all the rec sports, I thought, well, I need to be in the gym more. So I go to the gym probably 5 or 6 times a week. I feel like God's given me good health. I want to do my part to try to maintain that. So I feel very fortunate to still be, at my age, hostile, agile, and mobile, right? And so I'm not hostile necessarily, but I'm grateful for that. So, every job, I have so much respect for anyone who does their job well. You can pour concrete, you can be an attorney, you can be I don't care. I just have so much respect and appreciation because most of those things I can't do. And I appreciate those who can do those things and they do them well. And so every job has its stresses. And pastoral ministry, the tagline for the Peace Corps, I don't know whether it still is, but it used to be, it's the toughest job you'll ever love. And I thought that's a perfect tagline for pastoral ministry. It's the toughest job you'll ever love. Part of the difficulty is when I worked my way through Bible college at Safeway. And I became a journeyman clerk. I worked there 32 hours a week, and then I get out of school at 1 o'clock, go to work at 3, work till midnight. And once the store closed, I'm cutting and marking groceries and stocking shelves. And the benefit of that is I could take my apron off at the end of the night and see what I accomplished. When you're in pastoral ministry, you pray,
Yes.
you visit people in the hospital, you do weddings, you do funerals, you baptize kids, you go to the jail to visit. I mean, you do all these kinds of things, and you don't often see the fruit immediately. You don't see the return on your investment, as it were, right? It's usually not until years later when you run into people. And I've had so many people over the years stop me at the store or stop me someplace or say, Pastor Rick. And that's another thing. I'm just Rick. I remember on the last day of my pastoral ministry at the church, I said, people have been asking me, what are we supposed to call you now, right? And I said, I've been thinking about that. I said, when the president leaves office, they still call him Mr. President. Mm-hmm. And when the king leaves his throne, they still call him Your Majesty. So I said, either one of those is fine, right? So for the next few weeks, I had people calling me Mr. President and Your Majesty, but I'm just Rick. And I appreciate being a pastor. It was wonderful, and being in the office of a pastor. And I still get called pastor a lot because that's how people have known me for years. I've been involved in their family in all the really crucial moments and celebratory moments of their family for years. And so I really enjoyed that. But again, ministry can be really stressful. And I know a lot of my peers in ministry. I'm in my 70s. A lot of my peers in ministry are not healthy. And a lot of it's because they don't have a really healthy lifestyle. I mean, as a pastor, oftentimes you go out to eat a lot. And it's wonderful. You're invited out. And you don't maybe eat healthy. And then there's the stress of ministry. There's board meetings and business meetings and budget meetings and just the stress of ministry. Because usually when you're involved in a person's life, it's often a crisis. Someone's died. There's been a diagnosis, a bad diagnosis. Someone got arrested or an accident or lost a business. And so I made a decision a long time ago. The way I'm going to help mitigate the stress, obviously, aside from my devotional life, is just to stay fit. Try to eat healthy reasonably, and then just stay fit. So I am very grateful for my health, and I would continue to like to have the opportunity to minister at Cowboy Church, and occasionally I preach. I've preached at Creston Church. I preached in Pastor Robles at a church there. I preached at my former church that I pastored. So I have the opportunity. I am also, as a pastor, I always did weddings. 6, 7 weddings a year. Now I'm actually a full-time wedding officiant. I do 80 to 90 weddings a year.
Wow.
I did a wedding on Monday in Abla Beach. I have a wedding this Sunday in Santa Barbara. And
80 to 90 weddings. There's 12 months. Let me do the math.
No.
Holy cow.
But I really, I just so much enjoy it. I meet incredible couples that I would never otherwise meet because so many people come to the Central Coast to get married. I get to share in the best day of their life. And I work with great people in the industry because there's a lot more moving pieces to a wedding than most people realize till they start planning. And so all these vendors that work, and make a wedding day special. So between being at Cowboy Church and doing weddings and being a chaplain, I think every person around you, especially men, I know men are wired this way. I can't speak for ladies. I'm not a lady. Men need to have a reason to get up in the morning. And they usually do for the first, from age maybe 15 up to maybe 65, they do have a reason to get up, they have a job or vocation. After that, they retire, and some of them don't have a reason to get up. And I think you lose your passion for life, you lose your vitality if you don't have a reason to get up. You need to find something to do. And usually you need to find something that aligns with your personality and your gifting. I'm so in awe of people who can build things. I can't build, I break things. I keep people employed who build things, right? And so I might have a passion for building, but I have no gifting for building. So I probably shouldn't be in construction, right?
Swing a hammer.
I'm going to hurt myself, right?
He's going to hurt himself.
So I think people need to find, okay, what's my passion? What do I enjoy doing? And then what do I have a gifting for? And when you align those two, then you're probably going to be successful. So in my case, I love communicating people. I love hanging out with people. So I'm thinking I should probably be in some kind of vocation where I have a chance to engage with people frequently, and I have a chance to talk, because those are my passions and my giftings, I think. So with all of those things now, the 3 things I'm doing more often than not, which are Cowboy Church preaching and being a chaplain and doing weddings, I'm very fulfilled and very grateful for the opportunity.
Jerri, what's because you say you've known Rick for 40 plus years. You guys are like a brother sister.
Yeah.
So tell me one of your fondest memories.
Oh no. I can always find the funny. I tell people it's my medication. I tell my kids that. But Pastor Rick and I and Bob, we've been together a long time, and so we've done a lot of things. And Bob and I did the janitorial at the Assembly of God Church, and Pastor was the the pastor at the time, and I saw how tough it was. I saw how people came into his office, and the board members and people, and complaining, and the grief. Oh my gosh. I saw all that as I'm cleaning, and Bob's cleaning too, but I guess I can tell this story because it is absolutely very funny. I had made a mistake, and I had read in the newspaper that a friend of ours had died, and I was devastated. And I called Pastor Rick, and so he was too. It was somebody that I'm not going to give the name because people know this person, and she's still alive, by the way. And so.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Oh yeah. She didn't really die. It was just a common name.
It wasn't a resurrection. She just made a mistake. Go ahead.
Wow.
Made a mistake. And so I called him and I said, "Oh my gosh, so and so had died." And he goes, "Oh my goodness." I said, "Yeah, I'm just feeling really bad." He says, "Okay." So I thought I knew her sister, so I thought I would call her sister and say, "I'm so sorry." Well, when I called her sister, there was nothing wrong. She was fine. How's everything? She says, "Everything's fine." I'm like, "Oh my gosh."
But was her first like what?
Yes. Yeah, I didn't say anything to her. First, I said, "Hi, how's everything?" She goes, "Everything's fine." I'm like, "Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, I've got the wrong person." Now, I'm the janitor at the church. I see him every day. And as I thought, I can't face this man. I had to call him back, and I said, "She didn't die. She's fine. I have the wrong person." Fortunately, he hadn't called the family yet. So when I got to church, I had decided I would change my identity. And so I went in, and I dressed myself as Lucy. And because I had to come to work the next day. And so I dressed myself as Lucy. And I was Jerri Busick twin thither. And so Jerri Busick's twin thirster. And so he came to work. I was waiting, and I looked like Lucille Ball, if anybody remembers who that is. I had the mop, and I had the whole thing, and I said...
The orange hair?
Everything. I mean, I really tried. I said... Because I couldn't face him. I'm like, I made the biggest mistake ever. And "Hi, Pastor Rick, I'm Jerri Busick, twin thither, Luthi, and I'm here to go to work." And he looked at me. He has this look. And he looked at me like, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. So he went in his office and closed the door. But the secretary at the time, Bonnie, she lost it. She's under her desk. She's laughing so hard. So the entire day I was Luthi, Jerri Busick, twin thither. And so I worked that whole day, and Becky Reynolds, who we all adore, everybody knows that Becky Reynolds, was on the board. And she is with all these men. She's the only woman on the board. I understand this stuff. A very serious meeting. And I walk by with my mop on my head, and I go, "Hi," and she was trying to stay, Anyway, that's how our friendship goes. I mean, he's married our kids, and he's been there. He did the funeral for my parents, for Bob. He's been for us. It's just a wonderful friendship. It's so God-given. I just can't thank him enough, and fun. We really have had a lot of fun. So people need to know, come to church. The Lord is there. He's waiting there to help you. We'll see you through the difficult times. It's family. We're a family church, and we're so blessed. We're so blessed. And
wow. So you started this September 11th?
2.5 years ago.
2.5 years ago.
Yeah.
So you started obviously with yourself and probably a handful of friends and family.
I went around, I made a flyer. It's not about me. This is what the Lord gave me. I went around and I knocked on people's door. "Hi, I'm Jerri Busick, and I'm here to invite you to Cowboy Church." I knew most of these people. I also knew most of these people were not going to church. I've been in the Atascadero for 50 years. So I went around. I took my granddaughter with me, and
Kids can't. People won't shut the door in the face of a child, so that's why Jerri
they
has.
won't.
Yeah.
I had one guy tell me what it turned
Those
the
Girl
hose.
Scout cookies. That's what happens.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. One
She's
guy.
very persistent.
Yeah. I had Paisley with me, Paisley Busick, Bryan's youngest, and the one guy said, "I would have turned the hose on you, Jerri, but if I hadn't known you." And so it was something that was given to Bob and I about people coming to church, and it's growing, and we've had amazing experiences. All churches have a mission. I would never say anything bad about a church. We were at New Day, we were with him. No, because they all have a mission. Refuge, Catholic Church, all. Our mission is exactly for people to come. There's so much freedom. just come and experience the freedom.
But you've grown from what you were doing then. So how many people on average do you think that is attending the church bi-weekly now?
I think that we have average probably around 60 people. We
Wow.
have at least 10 kids. But we have
Is that pretty big for like a congregation as far as like
For a new-
like a normal church?
You know,
or-
anymore, I mean, there's some wonderful, great churches in Atascadero. You have large churches.
There
ABC
are.
is very large.
Huge.
I'm well over 1,000, and Refuge Church is probably...
Weekly?
Oh, yes.
1,000 in attendance?
Yes.
Wow.
And then Refuge Church is very large. I would think they'd have probably at least 600 or 700. And there are a number of other churches that are probably 300 and 400. But across the country, your typical church is very small, maybe 40 or 50 people. That's across every denomination, just across. That's the way it is. It's just it ebbs and flows, obviously, from decade to decade in terms of church attendance. You know, there seems to be kind of a revival of interest in spirituality and in knowing God, seeking God. C.S. Lewis is one of my favorite. He was an agnostic who was converted and became one of the great defenders of the Christian faith. He taught at Cambridge University, or was it not? Anyway, he's an Englishman and he's a prolific writer. He's gone now. But in one of his books, he said, if I find in myself a desire which no experience in this world can satisfy, the most likely explanation is I was made for another world. Yeah. And I often use that, especially in my when I'm doing a celebration of life, because it's really true. We do find in ourselves a desire which no experience in this world can satisfy, because we pursue experiences all the time. We get married, we buy a house, we start a business, we go to dinner, we go on vacation, and all those things are at least temporarily fulfilling. But we have the most fabulous dinner in the world at the most exclusive restaurant in the world, and it's like, great, and the next day we're hungry again. You know, we buy this car of our dreams, and it's great, and after a couple of weeks, it's like, okay, well, it's a car, right? So it is. There's this part of us that says, this is not all there is. There's got to be more. We weren't really made for this place. We were made for another place, and we were made for eternity with God. And so I think people at different seasons of time, I think they realize that, and they recognize. Jerri and I I'm conducting a celebration of life this Saturday for a young woman named Holly, who was in her early 50s, maybe.
Not yet.
At the most.
Do you know Holly?
Late
40s,
40s.
Okay, so
yes,
Holly
she's in her 40s.
grew up in my church as a little girl. I knew her then, right? And I'm doing the celebration of life. And people don't like to think about their mortality. They're going to come to, and they expect at least a couple of hundred people at her service. They're going to come because they love Holly. But whenever we don't like those kinds of gatherings because it forces us to face our mortality. We don't really like to think about that. But I think people need to think about that, because there is, we're so busy and we keep so much noise around us, right? That we try to, I think, push away the thoughts of mortality and spirituality, you know. But it's true. I mean, we're four-dimensional beings, and we've spent a lot of time on three of those dimensions: relationally, mentally, and physically, and we pretty much neglect the core of our being, which is our spirituality, you know, that essence which says that divine part of us, you know, that because the Bible says that we were created in God's image. I believe he stamped his indelible imprint upon every person. And that's why, you know, so many wonderful things are taking place. I mean, God, what a tragedy in Southern California. So many wonderful things are taking place and people responding to that. And people have no faith at all, are just being so generous and giving. In my estimation, and that's not just, well, that's the better part of humanity. That is that divine imprint of the nature of God in a person, pushing itself up. It's almost like when you're in a city and you walk down this concrete street, and all of a sudden you see this little plant that's grown up between the crack in the concrete. And I feel like when a person who does not know God does something really generous and compassionate, I feel like that's what that is. Yeah. That through the hardness of our fallen state, that divine nature is pushing itself up through the concrete of our pardon us. And that's what you see, a reflection of the goodness of God and our divine nature. So I'm sorry, I don't mean to preach, but
it brings me up a question, and I'm going to ask it. It's like, how do you reply to somebody that says, how could he let this happen? You know what I'm saying? I mean, because this is like severe devastation.
It is.
Not just amongst, one or two. I mean, we're thousands and hundreds and thousands of people that have been devastated.
I agree. And again, there's never going to be any answer that anyone can give. And a lot wiser people than me have tried to answer that question over the decades, centuries, and have probably not been fully successful, right? And so no answer I give or anyone else gives is going to satisfy individuals who've gone through a trauma like that. The big picture, I think, answer would be that we live in a fallen world. I love music, and I love the way even secular music points to spiritual realities. Woodstock by Crosby, Stills, Nash & Young. It was written by Joni Mitchell, and I know you're not my generation, but you've probably heard the song Woodstock, okay? And it says, going down to Yasgur's farm, join a rock and roll band. We got to get back to the land and set our soul free. And it says, we are gold dust, we are carbon, we are gold dust, we're 10 billion year old carbon, and we've got to get back to the garden. It says, okay, and there is, I think, this sense that we got to get back to the garden, and it's a reference to the Garden of Eden. Now, when Crosby, Stills, and Nash, when Joni Mitchell wrote the song, I'm not sure what she had in mind, and when they sang it, it became a hit. I'm not sure that that's what they were thinking of, right? But really, it's the reference, I believe, reference to the Garden of Eden. In the garden, everything was perfect. Right? There wasn't any mourning, sorrow, death, sickness, right? Then we had rebellion, and we had the fall, and we had men pushing God away and going on their own, doing things on their own, right? And so you have this fallen world where there was peace, and all of a sudden chaos came. And things happen that are beyond the control of men and women. Now again, I don't know if it was arson down there. There were several fires, obviously. I don't know if it was arson, but if it was arson, right? So could God have stopped the arsonist from doing that? Yes. Does God allow people free will to make choices? Yes. And that's the dilemma. If there is a God and he allows people free will, then that means they're going to do things that are occasionally not only going to harm them, but harm other people, right? Like the Holocaust, right? You have evil people do evil things, right? Yes. If God commands people not to do evil, then obviously, and they have no free will, then he becomes a dictator, right? Well, I don't want to be good, but he's forcing me to be good. So I wouldn't say God's in a bind, but he gives man, there's a choice. Either you can make people completely compliant and only do good things, or he can allow people free will and allow them to do whatever they want, often good things, but sometimes not so. So again, I think that we live in a fallen world, and I think it's a result of the fallen world. The Bible says that creation's crying out, not just humanity, but creation is crying out for its redemption, right? And I think that even nature itself cries out to go back to the state of the garden where everything was perfect, including the earth. The earth was perfect, humanity was perfect, and our conviction is we will get back there, because one day Jesus is going to return, and when he returns, then he's going to restore the earth to its original state, to perfection. Eternity is going to be perfection. The Bible says no more mourning, sorrow, pain, or death. And I know, again, no answer I give is the people there who don't have, they lost everything, like Bob said. They lost their home. Some lost family members. They lost their place of business. They have nothing, right? And it's devastating. I have, my grandson lived 24 hours. Yeah. Last Thanksgiving he was born. My oldest son's first son was born, lived 24 hours and died. I have a beautiful, wonderful granddaughter who's incredibly impacted with a rare disease, right? And so I've wrestled with God about those very same things. Lord, if you love me, and I believe you do, and I've served you, which I believe I have, then why? Why did my grandson die? Why is my granddaughter so highly impacted by this? It's not fair. It's not right. I mean, I've wrestled with God over that. in spite of that, I still believe that God loves me, that God is good, and that there is an answer to my questions about those kinds of hard things, but I may never get it in this life, and probably I won't get. And even if I were to get it in this life, if it doesn't change the situation, I don't know that the answer is really going to help me, right? I mean, why did my husband die of cancer? And so let's say that somehow God reveals this, the perfect answer to that. Here's the reason why. And in the long term, you'll see that, in my grand plan, it was the right thing, right? Even if you get that answer, because of the wound that's left from the loss of someone you love, it's never going to be enough, not in this life. So.
Wow.
I have something to add to that one, though, too, because we have gone through this with them and their family, and we're very close, and it's been so hard. But what I do know is that we have heaven. And so heaven is perfect. Heaven is wonderful.
I believe.
We're all just passing through here.
I believe, yeah.
So the joy, even though the joy is, and we've all had tough, everyone who's listening to this program has gone through something very difficult. But I know there's heaven, and I know there's peace in Jesus. That we we'd all die too, right? Because of all the hurt.
Yeah.
And it's a wonderful thought of Jesus and so in the Bible it tells us about heaven and what we have to look forward to. No eye has seen, no ear has heard what he has prepared for this. I love the earth, but it is nothing compared what God has prepared for us.
I believe that.
There's one thing I wanted to add really quick because Bob has made a mention of this. I have to do this. When you do come to Cowboy Church, we do something that's very different than anyone else. That you will be, if you want to be baptized, which is a show of your faith in Jesus Christ, you will get to be baptized in his horse trough. And it is an amazing thing. We do heat the water, so it's not that.
You use the same water that the horses are drinking out of?
No.
Yeah, but we heat it up. So
we heat it up. We heat it up, and every time it is always amazing. It is so wonderful. They come out of that water so renewed, and that's Scripture, pastors. We've experienced that. I just wanted to put that in because there's such a peace, a free feeling of being outside. Even if it's cold, we have heaters if in the barn. But baptism is very special, from the little kids to the adults.
So, and let me just mention one more thing. I understand that people watching. I think this is fabulous. You're doing a tremendous job.
Yes.
You're really a great interviewer.
Thank you.
I know a lot of people watch this. They're probably all over the map in terms of their faith or lack of it, right? In terms of their understanding of God or belief. You don't have to believe anything to come to Cowboy Church. In fact, all the pastors I know in town, you don't have to believe anything to come to their church.
No.
They're just going to receive you. They're going to try to answer your questions. They want to try to give you hope and encouragement and try to meet your tangible needs, not just your spiritual needs, but your tangible needs. And so, if you're sitting out there and you're watching this, and you're probably tempted to turn it off on a couple of occasions, right? I don't hear any of that. We just want to say you're welcome to come. And we have no expectations of you. And we want to meet you where you are. And our purpose is not to judge you. Our purpose is to love you. And we'll try our best. Maybe you're not a necessarily lovable person, but we'll try our best. And the same for us. We'll just ask the same for you.
Yes.
Try to love us, because really, that's command of Jesus, right? By this shall all men know you're my disciples, that you love one another, right? As I have loved you. So that's our objective. We try to work hard at that. And
That's, like I said, I mean, I've enjoyed this interview. I've enjoyed, like I said, yes, I will be going to Cowboy Church. Yes.
I still harass you, I'll tell you
Yes.
what.
I will not.
Lovingly.
I will. I promise you this.
Thank you.
I promise you this. Just because, like I said, I'm not the suit and tie that, to sit there in the pew and, but that's not what this is. This is show up in your boots and, have your coffee and, sit there and
free donuts and coffee for everyone. We have that.
So like I said, it's you guys have broken that mold, and from what I understand, this is the only thing on the Central Coast, if not the North County, of like a scheduled bi-weekly Cowboy Church style church, other than like a rodeo or something that's has an event, one time a year. But this is scheduled to where somebody can go in, show up.
That's right.
Bring one person, bring two people, doesn't matter. Bring your lawn chair and sit. Stand at the back by the stalls.
Yeah.
Right.
Just to be a part there. But there's nothing like
Right.
it. Is what I want to emphasize.
That's nice.
That there's nothing like that.
Yeah.
Nothing like what you guys are doing and the service that you guys are providing for the community. So
Thank you, Randy.
where does somebody find you guys? I know Bob mentioned, that you guys are starting a Facebook page for the Cowboy Church.
Yes.
But they could probably go to Running Bee Ranch Facebook page as well to get some more guides, because this is where it's held.
Yes.
In Atascadero,
Yes,
right?
it's the Running Bee Ranch, 4500 Rocky Canyon Road, the second and fourth Sundays of the month. We also do something called Worship Under the Stars, and that's been really special in the summer. We have a couple bands, Christian bands that come, have a couple of featured artists that come, and we worship under the stars. And we've really, really enjoyed that. So, and call Bob's phone number. We're not real good on Facebook. We have somebody's helping us now, so we're going to get a little more professional. And Randy, we appreciate you so much.
Very
This is
much.
a big deal.
Yeah,
And
we
thank
appreciate you guys coming on. Like I said, I
Yeah.
always enjoy it. I love
Yeah.
talking to you guys, about this. And, I think there's, our day and age, there could use some more of it,
Sure.
Yeah.
And, and it doesn't have to be a direct sermon or anything like that. It's just,
fun.
Exactly. And so I appreciate,
special.
Thank
you
you.
guys coming on and sharing your information, your stories,
Yeah.
about, where we're at nowadays. And, hopefully, we're in a change of
We are.
getting more people into that believing state.
we
'cause
are.
I think we fell
we're
off
we're
a
going
little
to
bit.
see
from
revival. We're
Right.
going to see revival. We're
Yeah.
sure of it.
And like I said, I'd love to get people out to the
Yeah.
Cowboy Church, which is it this coming weekend?
Yeah, it's Sunday.
So it's this coming
Sunday the
Sunday,
26th.
and then every other Sunday. from
Yeah,
there on out.
Pastor will be speaking. Our son Chad is doing a presentation. He travels all over America. He speaks at colleges, at Harvard and Ole Miss in Texas. He works for John Gordon, who's a very famous sports author. And so Chad happens to be in California, so he's going to speak for us. We're going to talk about Holly a little bit. And please come. Everybody come.
And Rick, you had mentioned before we started that you're the surfer type from Santa Cruz. Do you wear a cowboy hat at Cowboy Church?
I have a cowboy hat, so I think I've worn it once or twice. It's we have a lot of real cowboys and a lot of ranchers and farmers who are there, and they're very comfortable in that environment. That is their environment, right? I cowboy up every once in a while, pretty rarely, but.
Nice.
But,
Well, awesome.
Yeah.
So just to reiterate, we're doing the donation in front of Target.
Yes.
Starting tomorrow.
Yes.
For
2 to 6.
2 to 6?
Yes. And KSBY will be there,
Okay.
which we're very appreciative. I
Yeah.
mean, that's going to be a good deal. They did that for us before for the Paradise Fire.
Awesome.
So come out.
So 2 to 6 in front of Target. Past Robles.
Yes, and if anybody needs prayer, that's what I like to do, and Pastor Rick will do that.
Awesome.
We just appreciate everybody's. People are so generous, Randy.
They are.
People, their hearts are big,
They are.
and they care.
They do.
And everybody wants to try to do something to help. That's just their hearts. We're overwhelmed with people's generosity. We really are.
Very awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate you guys coming on
Okay.
and telling the story and
Yeah.
and being a part of everything that you guys do.
You're
and,
welcome.
And like I said, Jerry, I'll
Yeah.
definitely be there
Okay,
with my
Randy.
family.
Oh, yes.
So
yes.
we'll be there at Cowboy Church.
I love surprises, and so if you'll be my surprise, I will love that free donuts and coffee.
Awesome.
Yeah, and we love you, Randy.
Awesome.
We love
well,
you.
thank you. We love you too.
Okay.
And like I said, appreciate your service and
Yeah.
everything that you guys are doing
Yeah,
here for the community.
absolutely.
And continue to do for the community.
Thank you.
So,
Thank you.
well, there you have it, guys. Hey, make sure you guys get out to Target between 2 and 6, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday to fill up that 12-foot trailer, because these guys are taking it down to LA and to all the donations that you can bring. Make sure it's non-used clothing items and non-perishable new items if you can. or cash donations is also helpful. And don't miss Cowboy Church this coming Sunday, every other week at the Running Bee Ranch in Atascadero, 10 o'clock. So you guys don't want to miss this and experience. Just go there to say howdy, because you can probably know probably at least half of the people that will be there. But as always, guys, we can't do this without you and our sponsors. We'd like to thank Escalar Wine Travelers Hideaway, Visit Atascadero, 805 Customs, MGP Coatings, North County Junk Removal, the Trailer Barn, Story Termite Pest Control, Warhone Auto Center, Kennedy Club Fitness, Airflow Filter Services, and Suprema Meat Markets. Thanks again, guys. We'll see you next time.
Hi, this is Dave Story, small game hunter with Story Termite and Pest. We're a full-service termite and pest control company. From rodents to termites, we can take care of all your pest control needs. Call today, we can tailor a pest control program that will meet your needs and budget. Contact us at 805-460-0650 or at storytermite.com. Remember, we don't have customers, we have friends.
Hi, it's Alex with Suprema Meat Market. We are a Mexican meat market with a taqueria. Come enjoy our high-quality cuts and meats. We offer choice and prime Harris Ranch beef, as well as chicken, seafood, and pork items. In the taqueria, all of our tacos come with handmade tortillas. We also offer specialty items like chilaquiles and chile rellenos. Come enjoy Taco Tuesday with Suprema. We offer our tacos at $1.99 each. Suprema Meat Market is located at 8950 Montecito Avenue in Atascadero.
Are you tired of looking at that worn-out concrete garage floor, patio, or porch? Look no further than MGP Coatings, where customer service reigns supreme. Our team goes above and beyond to ensure your satisfaction every step of the way. Before we even start coating, we meticulously repair your concrete, ensuring a flawless finish that lasts. And here's the best part. Our Pentec coatings are 4 times stronger than epoxy, so they won't chip or peel, making maintenance a breeze. Plus, they come with a limited lifetime warranty. Call us today at 805-952-5301 or check out our Facebook and Instagram and experience the MGP coating difference. Don't wait. Transform your garage, patio, porch, or driveway and become a part of the MGP coating family.
What's up, North County? This is Teresa Branch with Airflow Filter Service. We are a family-owned business right here in the North County. We have air filters, oils and lubricants, and hydraulic hoses. We provide services that include air filter cleaning, DPF cleaning, and waste oil collection. Come check us out at 1140 Ramada Drive, and we can help you with all your automotive and industrial vehicle needs.
Hi, this is Omid
and Deanna
at North County Junk Removal. We are a business known for helping our neighbors and our community.
Let us help you save money and get rid of any unwanted items.
And rest assured that our professional team adheres to global standards of safety and recycling. We are fully licensed and insured for your peace of mind.
We are locally owned and operated, and we look forward to helping you with all your junk removal needs.
Please call us at 805-769-6966.
Atascadero isn't your standard getaway. We're unique, just like you. We're growing, transforming, and figuring it out as we go. We're a town filled with innovators, artists, makers, and game changers. We're a little bit country, a little bit funky, and always authentic. We're here for your good times, your slow times, and your changing times. We are all in Atascadero. Come see for yourself. Learn more at visitatascadero.com.
Hi, welcome to Kennedy Club Fitness, where we have something for everyone. We have weights, cardio, group exercise classes, racquetball, basketball, swimming, and pickleball coming soon. Here at Kennedy, we're committed to health, wellness, and community. Stop by any of our 4 locations: Paso Robles, Atascadero, San Luis Obispo, and Arroyo Grande, or check out our website at kennedyclubs.com.